Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody.
We are very glad to be here with you today. We hope that you are really enjoying the JiraCon 21 and that the information that we'll share with you today will be really interesting and useful. As announced previously, in the next 45 minutes, we'll be discussing business intelligence and we'll find out why Jira can be an important data source for your business analytics. I believe we should get acquainted first. My name is Anna, and here is my colleague Luba. As for me, I'm the managing partner of AlphaSurf, responsible for strategic business development and partnerships. I'll be the first speaker today, and Luba will be my co-speaker, and will cover the technical aspects of the today's topic. And I believe Luba will introduce herself.
Yeah, thank you, Anna. My name is Luba, and I've been the support team lead at AlphaSurf for 3 years already. I'm responsible for product analysis and functional support. BI connectors as a part of our portfolio are my main focus, so I'll be talking about the technical aspects today.
Great, thanks. And a few words about our company. AlphaSurf has joined Atlassian Marketplace in the end of 2018 with 2 small apps. Currently, we have 24 apps on the marketplace. We are Silver Marketplace partner, and we already have customers from different countries and different industries. We are passionate about building applications. We are also vendors on Shopify and Magento marketplaces with BI platform connectors, as data exports and integrations are our main focus and main competence. In this presentation, we'll plan to move forward as follows. We'll start with a brief introduction about what is business analytics and take a look at the popular BI software. Then we'll proceed to Jira and examine why it can be an important data source. As a next step, we'll cover the options of exporting data from Jira to BI software and compare using Jira API and third-party apps, taking our PowerBI connector for Jira as an example. And in the last part, we'll give you real examples of dashboards and KPIs designed based on Jira data and upon customers' demand. In the final end, we'll have the Q&A session, so you'll be able to ask any questions you may have during our presentation. So let's move on. As promised, we'll start with a short introduction about what is business analytics and business intelligence and why it has become a trend for major companies. So what stands behind BA and BI abbreviations? Business analytics, the BA focuses on developing new insights and understanding of business performance based on actual data. Business intelligence, in its turn, traditionally focuses on the set of metrics to measure past performance and to guide business planning. They are both very important parts of the management process, where BI can answer questions such as what happened, how often, where the problem is, etc. And business analytics BA can answer questions like, why is this happening? What if this trends continue, etc. Currently, there is no need to invent anything, and there is already a list of BI software tools in the market. There are a lot of popular and ready solutions in terms of Jira integrations and the number of users. The most popular are Microsoft Power BI, Tableau, BigQuery from Google, Google Data Studio, Looker, and many others. In the slide, you can see the brief comparison of such tools, but I think I should not go deep in details now, as the slides will be available on the event. The only thing that I would like to highlight is that there are no equal solutions on the market. And as Atlassian users and consultants, we need to know not only the tools, but also their Jira integration possibilities. At AlphaSurf, we have several connectors in our portfolio, including BI, Tableau, and BigQuery. And for the purposes of this definite presentation and this definite session, we'll be using Power BI as an example. So let's talk about Jira a bit. Adding Jira as an essential data source is a smart decision that will make a positive effect on the output. Why? For example, you can place all projects on a single view to accelerate timely decision-making and keep the right direction. Your project teams can get the ability to evaluate their definite impact and their contribution to the general business result. You can dive deeper in a certain project or stage of performance, keep hand on the workload or estimations. Thus, you are able to take measure on time and not to be late. You can measure the project effectiveness and profitability, follow the dependence of customer satisfaction level and project performance, etc. So as you see, Jira can be an important data source, and as it contains a lot of useful data that can be very important for business analytics purposes. For example, project categories, types, statuses, and so on provide you the ability to monitor overall project activity. Issues category, statuses, and resolution analytics can help you evaluate the process, effectiveness of assignees, and all this stuff. Work logs are important to see the time and resource allocation and find the project bottlenecks. Besides this, external applications such as Tempo, X-Ray, and many others can also have lots of data that can be used in the business analytics. So these are just some examples. In fact, a wide range of Jira data can be analyzed in the BI tools based on your business purposes. So if you agree that Jira is an important data source, so now I believe you have a question how to integrate Jira with BI tools and, for example, with Microsoft Power BI. The first option that comes to mind is that you can carry out integration using Jira REST API. It's often considered quite a complicated process as it requires development knowledge and understanding of API principles. We'll talk about it a little bit more later. Another option that users can also consider is a third-party add-on. And this is a ready solution where our apps could be really helpful. For example, PowerBI connector for Jira or Tableau connector for Jira. Another alternative can also be to use the default Jira content packs, for example, such as PowerBI Cloud. It has some limits in terms of data export, and you should investigate it first before you select. CSV export can also be really applicable. You need only to remember that it has limited export data range. For example, you cannot export history data. And in addition, as it's exported as a file, there is no option to set up an auto update, for example. I also cannot admit there is the most recent news about the data lake from Atlassian. As you may know, in the beginning of this year, Atlassian introduced Atlassian Data Lake for Jira software and called for early access, as they normally do, to invite users to test the solution and to define their needs. There are not a lot of news are available now, and we know that the early access is closed. And we are hoping to get some news regarding this till the end of the year. Now the solution itself is in the test mode and cannot be used for production yet. But let's wait for the Atlassian announcements further. These are the options, and you as Atlassian users or Jira admins need to know about all of them and need to know about their limitations in order to select the proper option for you. In addition, I'd like to share some important things that you should keep in mind before you start to export your Jira data, or whichever option you choose. First of all, please don't forget to check the project access permissions for certain users or projects. On one hand, not to share the sensitive data, and on the other hand, not to get empty data. If the user doesn't have access to certain data, this user will not be able to export it. Then make sure to define the fields you need exactly, and this will help you to optimize your data export volume. Not to export everything that you have, this can take significant time. Pay special attention to custom fields, especially if you plan to use built-in dashboard templates, as sometimes using custom fields can lead to dashboard break if they are built on normal Jira fields. Take a look at the external apps available in your Jira instance and the data that is present there, because sometimes applications have very native design and you can not even imagine that it's an app, but it is. And data from third-party applications cannot always be fully exported from Jira, so this needs to be investigated a little bit before you plan the export. And the last thing I'd like to mention here is that issues can occur if Jira default language differs from data input language, especially when various different alphabets and writing systems are used. for example, when the Cyrillic is used or any other writing system, because very often users input data in the custom fields in the local language. So you should also keep this in mind to get the data transformed correctly. So I'm passing my word to Luba here. She will lead the practical part of the presentation as promised, and I will be still here and we'll be asking tricky questions meanwhile.
Yeah, thank you, Anna. And let's talk about two most popular options of Jira API integration. And the slides show the process of exporting data by means of Jira REST API. So before starting the process of designing a solution based on Jira REST API, it's really important to understand what data you need and what data is available from Jira REST API.
So companies should analyze their business needs before starting the implementation, right?
Correct, and not just on the business needs, but the Jira REST API documentation also. And as soon as company defines exactly what they need, the process of development can be started. And at this stage, the company defines a programming language to use and assigns a dedicated person to development.
Or hires such a person.
Yeah, sometimes also need to be done. And here you should pay attention to the details. To get all exports right, for example, API authentication, formatting special charters, testing, maintenance, and so on and so forth.
Sounds like trivial cases, yeah?
Well, actually, they are trivial cases until you start to solve the issues related to that trivial cases.
Could you provide some examples for that?
Well, as an example, one case you might face is that using the Jira REST API, you'll get the maximum of 1,000 issues from your Jira application. And you know, this is an intentional limitation on Jira application to avoid performance-related issues. And workaround is to perform your export in batches and implement the results pagination. And as you can see from the slide, as soon as the code is written, you need to make some settings in PowerBI, probably to get it work properly. And after development is done, you can start to import the data into the PowerBI and build necessary dashboards. And since the custom solution almost always tend to be not as user-friendly as could be wished for, it could be that your team will require some training, so please consider to provide some for your team. And finally, consider the planning efforts to support your custom solution.
And what common support cases that users can face here? What do you mean?
Well, as I mentioned, the process starts from the definition of data company needs for reports creation. And after the implementation process is done, additional data or new features may be requested, or bugs might be found, or any other challenges may occur. So, you know, in real life, always something happens. And to summarize this process, it can be rather complicated and time-consuming. In general, if you're acquainted with the API, PowerBI, and programming, the custom solution to export data can take up to 3 weeks and even more. And on this slide, you can see the process map of exporting data with the help of PowerBI connector for Jira by AlphaSoft. And I'll show you later on the demo. And now you just have to believe me. That the whole process of data export is very simple and usually takes no longer than 10 minutes. The further dashboards building can take some more time, and this depends on your familiarity with the Power BI tools. So let's define key features and benefits on each connection option. So let's start from the Jira REST API. And here you should consider the fact it could be complicated and include not trivial tasks. You might need help with implementing and choosing programming language, and it takes time to develop it. And the big plus is that the Jira REST API is free of charge. But again, here you need to consider the expenses on other resources involved, such as dedicated employees for development and support.
So do I understand right that basically if a company is looking for a long-term tool, then development, testing, and the further maintenance of the custom solutions could be costly?
Yes, more likely it will. But of course, it depends on the company's management. And the main advantage of Jira REST API is that you need something special, for example, or if you need something sophisticated or your requirement is concerned with the security, for example, something secret, you need something secret especially for your company, you might not have a choice but to develop it yourself. As for the Power BI connector advantages, by choosing the Power BI connector, you get the solution out of the box. No need to develop, no need to train. User can start using it in 10 minutes. No additional skills required here. And as a plugin vendor, we take care about all additional features requests. We consider any customer's request and implement new features fairly fast.
Is it free of charge?
Yes, in common, request features are useful for all other users, so we implement such improvements on a priority basis.
Mm-hmm. And what are the common requests, for example?
Usually, user would like to get some more data generated by third-party plugins or automatic calculation for some kind of fields.
And if a company is in a trial period, can they make such new feature requests?
Oh, yes, sure. It doesn't matter if you're on a trial or your trial even expired. We consider all users' requests. Just let us know.
Great.
And our solution is paid, but in terms of a small agency, who probably value time and have lots of important stuff to do, the cost is very low. The pricing starts actually from $10 for 10 users, and no need to spend time and money on implementing the REST API.
Well, that's for small agencies. And what should the companies do if they have thousands of employees and only, for example, 10 or 20 people are intended to use the integration and are using the business analytics, the Power BI?
Yeah, there are such Atlassian rules for purchasing the whole user 2 licenses, but it's not correct to compare the price with the number of users. In my opinion, it's more correct to compare cost for the development. So such costs do not depend on the numbers of users, but depend on the complexity of development.
Okay.
So if you prefer to use the ready solution, please take a look at our Power BI connector for Jira. This is a marketplace product page for our Power BI connector for Jira. And we're proud that our Power BI connector got the cloud fortified badge, so our customers can be sure of additional security, sorry, so difficult word, reliability and support provided. Power BI connector for Jira allows users to export Jira data easily without any additional Jira knowledge or specific administration skills or even check your language skills. And it works as a connector between Jira and Power BI system, taking data from Jira and generating a data model according to the OData standard.
Sounds like something magic.
Yes, here I'd like to highlight Power BI connector key features and benefits according to the feedback from our customers. And the first one, that is, it is easy to export.
And is it a key feature or basic functionality?
Well, actually, it's two in one, but we have this option to request a live demo. And in 90% of completed demos, at the end, I heard, wow, fantastic, that's so easy. We requested a demo because we thought it would be so difficult, but it's so easy. So our customers mentioned this. So it's really easy to use and export the data with the help of our connector. And user can create a lot of data sources, multiple data sources, and share already configured data sources with other people. Multiple data sources allow to make sure that only relevant data is exported and shared to a certain person. Most important is that user don't need to have a technical background here. And user can select numerous fields among Jira Work Management field, Jira Software field, Jira Service Management field, and third-party plugins also. Filtering allows user export only the necessary data per one data source and not overload with the extra irrelevant information. And what I'd like to add here, a major feature according to our customers' rating, is the app security. All cloud users have questions regarding security, and as I already mentioned, Power BI connector for Jira is a part of Cloud 45 program. So all our customers can be sure that Power BI connector for Jira by AlphaServe has gone above and beyond Atlassian's general standards to deliver an exceptionally secure and reliable cloud solution. And right now, I'm going to show you how the connector works. Let me share my screen here and switch to the Power BI connector page. I have already installed this connector at my instance, and you can find the connector directly under the Marketplace Apps, Find New Apps functionality. This is how it looks at our product page with Atlassian Marketplace. Since I already installed the connector, I see the Edit button, but usually the Try It Free button, and any person with the administrative privilege can install this connector at the instance. But even if you are not a Jira admin or not in any administration privilege, you can request this add-on to be added at your instance by going to the Atlassian Marketplace directly and clicking Try It Free button. Here we have the option to request this app from your Jira admin, and your Jira admin will see this request and can install it at your instance. So let's go to the Power BI connector. And I'll show you how it's easy to create your data sources at your Jira instance. I'm clicking Create a Data Source button. Provide a name. And here you can see how many fields are available for selecting under the connector. You just can scroll through all of them and select that one you actually need. And as we already mentioned, you can select through the Jira Work Management tab, Jira Software, Jira Service Management, Tempo plugin already integrated with our plugin. So you can get all the data from the Tempo plugin, also time and status, project track, and we have numerous number of third-party plugins we are going to add soon. If you would like to get some additional data from any other plugin, just let us know. Probably we're already going to provide the integration with them. And I'm going to show you how to import the most common table everybody is interested in, the issues table. And just for you to know, you can implement different filters like JQL or basic to filter your data. I'm not going to implement them, but I'm going to show you how to import all the issues from your instance. I'm just copying the link and going into the Power BI desktop, selecting the all data feed, and start the import. Actually, it depends how much time it will take to import your data, but here at my instance, I have, if I'm not mistaken, I'll better show you how many issues I have at my instance. So here, we need to wait until it's loaded into the Power BI. And at this stage, of course, if you'd like to get different data models, for example, based on certain projects, you just apply the filters. And you see, I believe it was something like 10 or something more seconds, and we got almost 2,000 of issues here. And they are ready for building the dashboards. So right now, let's switch back to our presentation and move to the practical cases.
I think we'll talk about the use cases that you can potentially like to visualize in Power BI, and they may vary depending on your organizational needs. For example, someone wants to look at the aggregated statistics showing how long it takes a bug to go from in progress to close status, or to look at the average between priority groups to see if the things have been classified correctly, so that predictions for delivery dates can be improved. Someone wants to track changes in versions for each issue in its life cycle, etc. So it doesn't matter which industry you are in. If you are a Jira user and you're using Jira for your internal processes, you'll be able to track many various things. For example, for software development companies, such teams are focused on different project effectiveness metrics, such as number of issues in status, as I've mentioned, time for bug closure, tasks and timing per assignee estimates versus actual workloads, etc. For IT or customer service desk teams, the main focus is on speed and performance to improve their service level. So they monitor the ticket status and closure, tickets per person, types of requests, reasons for complaints, etc. For banking and finance, this industry consists of multi-teams interactions where tasks follow a complicated workflow between lots of different teams and sometimes even locations. Thus, they focus on tracking the issue status and workload, controlling and delivery. And as you know, Jira is also used by the business teams for their business projects, like supply chain or HR and others, marketing. And thus, they focus on project KPIs like time and budget estimate, actual deviations from schedule, team's workload, unpredicted costs, and so on. So as you see, Jira can be really useful not only for the project management and process management, but also you are able to use its data to improve your processes and to improve your overall company performance. And Luba, I will now ask you to show the real use cases provided by our customers. They're built on test data, but the dashboards and KPIs are real. Can you please share some examples of dashboards built in Microsoft Power BI based on Jira data?
Yes, with my pleasure. So let's get to the first use case. This is a really simple use case. So, and you can see the analytics for sprint stacks in statuses in progress, in testing and closed with the resolution down. Since the project manager can get such a report in real time, the data can be very informative. Look at the total number of issues. Compare to it, it's easy to see how much work has been done and how much still has to be done. And as for the next use case, you can see the comparison of estimated time with the actual time efforts. You can see that in the most cases, actual time is lower than the estimated time, and this is good. But also you can easily highlight the particular cases where the actual time is way higher than estimated time. And these are the cases for analyzing. And let's switch to the next case. And here you can see the analytic for all closed sprints for the chosen period. And it shows how many time issues are spent in statuses. And it is easy to notice that issues tend to spend more than 10 days in status in progress. So they do in status in testing. So what does it mean? Probably you need more employees, or maybe they need additional training, or maybe something were wrong with the estimate and you need to divide complicated tasks for smaller ones. These are good questions to ask. You can discover the answers by going deeper and inspect issues that tend to be long time in the mentioned periods.
Great, thank you, Luba. That was really interesting, I hope. It's time to summarize a bit, and I would like to underline the key takeaways, which we would like you to remember after this session. They are as follows. So implementing, adapting, or improving business analytics or business intelligence processes in the companies are in high demand recently due to fast world changes and lots of external challenges. And as you know, today's world is moving forward on a project basis, and projects have become key means of reaching business targets. As the leading software, Jira has become an important data source for business analytics and decision making. So thus it's not a discussion point anymore that Jira needs to be used as a data source if you'd like to widen your business data landscape. And the company only needs to consider possible options that are available and select the most suitable integration option to integrate Jira in the BI tool the company is currently using. And one more thing, during this speech, we presented our PowerBI connector for Jira in the demo, but we also have the Tableau connector for Jira and BigQuery connector for Jira. They are pretty similar. So we'd be happy to talk to you about this. Feel free to attend AlphaServe's virtual booth. For more information, we are a sponsor of JiraCon 21, so we'll be happy to see you there for further discussions or maybe one-on-one meetings or any other demos. Feel free to visit our booth. And as a thanks for being with us today, we can offer a 20% discount for all of our BI connectors for the attendees of this session. So feel free to reach out to me after the conference or in the virtual booth to request such kind of discount. And here we come, as promised, to a Q&A session, and we are open to answer any of your questions here.